things that prepared Joseph to become the prime minister. And see, we want to get to the top without the crawling through the glass at the bottom. But the difficulty at the bottom is the thing that makes us strong enough to stay there when we get there to the top. Like whatever we've got to do, it's worth it. Like when I look in the faces of my children, I could not look at them and tell them you can do anything you want to do and you can be anything you want to be while they watch me do nothing and be nothing.
That was the end of a chapter. The chapter is ended, but that's not the end of the story. God is not finished with you. That's not the end of your story. It's the end of a chapter. Or you've gone through something else. That's the end of a chapter. It's not the end of your life. God has a greater purpose, and right now he's working on you, and he will give you the grace and the power to handle. He will never put more on you than he puts in you to bear it up.
Because failure is only when you refuse to get back up. You can't wallow in your shame forever. You can't walk around feeling guilty forever. Get up. We all struggle. We all fall. We all fail. We are human. We are prone to weakness. It may look like it's over. It may look like the clock has timed out. But with God, he's always got another play. Always has another play.
What was it that the disciples feared? The disciples feared drowning. They feared the water. But Jesus showed that he was totally triumphant over that water. And I want you to visualize Jesus today totally triumphant over your storm. And when life becomes difficult, and when you are in the midst of that storm with all of its winds that are trying to blow you away, when that happens, will you be reminded of the promises of God? And of course, the Bible is filled with various promises. Let me remind you of one of them. We read in Hebrews chapter 13, God says, I will never leave you or forsake you. My friend, today there are times of darkness when we cannot see God, but God sees us. And may I remind you that when push comes to shove in life,
I love Ephesians 3:20. Paul writes, now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within inside of us. What does that mean? It just means simply God is able. God is able.
The scripture says, is there anything too hard for the Lord? He spoke worlds into existence. He flung stars into space. He has you in the palm of his hand. This is not the time to live worried, afraid. The God who breathed life into you is watching over you.
But here's what you need to know. God will never waste your pain. He will never waste your hurt. He will never waste your suffering, and he will never waste a miracle.
You have a DNA that no one else has. You think, act, feel, process, have abilities. You are you. The tools that God has given you naturally, and then notice your spiritual gifts, those things are the equipment God's given you to fulfill the unique purpose that you have. And so his natural talents, spiritual gifts, life experiences, good and bad. Some of the greatest ways that God will use you is the hardships that you've been through.
The reason we go back to God is because he is the master. And he put everything in the box we needed to be successful at what we were created to do. So I don't have to wish for stuff that he put in your box, because I'm not supposed to be you. I'm supposed to be me. I don't have to long after things that he has given to you, because he gave them to you so you could be who you were supposed to be. He gave me everything in the box I needed to do everything I was created to do. He designed you for the life he wants you to live. And if your life is unbearable, it might be because you're leading someone else's life.
And I think both are good, but I think we expect God to calm the storms more than we expect him to walk through it with us. So when the storm comes, we expect deliverance from the storm. When God says, my plan for this storm in your life isn't to deliver you from the storm, but it is to walk through the storm with you, to teach you something through the storm, to help you be strengthened through the storm, to benefit you through the storm.
Why do you think that's so? Because that is a God-given ability. Because he knew the assignment. He knew what he was going to use you to do. He knew the purpose of your life. And he already pre-positioned you with abilities different than, unique than from others.
Notice what Paul says here in verses 6 and 8. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is giving, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Notice what he says here. Different gifts according to the grace that's been given to us. You see, the source of our gifts is God, not us. We don't determine it. We don't decide what we get. There is this unique working of God in which he hardwires you and I to be someone that we could not be on our own. I don't think you can discover your spiritual gift by just taking a test. I think you need to be in community. I think community helps to clarify for you what your gift is. So try things out. What does your community say about your gifts? What have people said about you that you're good at? You see, this is that wonderful part where we actually need other people to speak into our lives and to draw out of us what it is that we can offer. Most of us, maybe if we felt like, man, I don't know what it is, just give yourself time in community. Man, because by the grace of God, you can offer something incredible to the world.
God's purpose for your life will flow from your natural abilities, obviously, right? Psalm 139. You were knit in your mother's womb.
It is more important that God see us than that we see God. And today, my friend, God sees you. He sees you in that marriage. He sees you in that home. He sees you in those circumstances. Be encouraged. There are times when we can't see him. My friend, today, if you're in the middle of a storm, doesn't necessarily mean that you've married the wrong one, doesn't necessarily mean that you're in the wrong vocation, doesn't mean that you've made some bad decision, though there are times when we do that. The fact is this: the holiest path is not always the smoothest path. And I want to tell you today that God leads us into storms by divine appointment.
If your life is too much and too heavy and too fast and too painful, maybe you're living somebody else's life. Because you will find that you are perfectly designed to be you. And when you surrender to him, he will show you how to best be you.
God has a unique purpose for each and every one of us. So don't follow in the footsteps of somebody else's purpose. Let me say it again. Don't follow in the footsteps of somebody else's purpose.
And what I've discovered is that this question of why am I here, this question of purpose, is not something that you just land at automatically, but it really is a journey.
He formed you in your mother's womb. You are special. What a mighty God. There's no sin he cannot forgive. There's no prayer he cannot answer. There's no soul he cannot save. There's no problem that he cannot solve. He has a wonderful plan for you.